Thanks for listening to the Old Pueblo New Economy podcast with Aaron Eden, Julie Bonner, and Nick Morin. Each episode, we showcase the diverse entrepreneurs and leaders driving growth in the desert we call home. I'm your host, Julie Bonner, for this creative community episode. I'm an artist, designer, and marketing director, and I'm speaking with creative entrepreneurs right here in Arizona. My goal is that you can apply some of these lessons learned into your own best practices. Let's turn up the creativity.
Community Investment Corps, located in Tucson and serving southern Arizona, empowers small business owners with knowledge and access to capital. CIC believes in economic inclusion and supports entrepreneurs and small business owners at all stages with the practical resources and education they need to thrive and turn dreams to reality. CIC is a proud founding sponsor of this podcast.
Hear how Toby Parks' creative background in marketing, sales, and her many connections created a good foundation to launch a real estate career after serving 25 years in the hotel and hospitality industry. In this creative community episode, we focus on talking about branding, networking, and mentorship. Toby truly aligns her business decisions with her passion of helping people in our community. Please enjoy this inspiring conversation with Toby Parks. Hi, everyone. It's Julie Bonner of Old Pueblo New Economy. I wanted to welcome you today, and we have a fantastic guest, Toby Parks of Long Realty. We've been friends for a long time, and I'm excited for her to share her background with you. How are you doing, Toby?
Great. Thank you, Julie. It's nice to be here with you, even though we are virtual, but
yes,
nice to see your face.
Yes, you too. So we're going to dive right in, and first let our listeners know more about your background in marketing and in sales.
Okay, super. I feel so fortunate. I went to the University of Arizona, and when I graduated, took a break thinking that I was going to go back and get my master's to head down a very different path that I ended up in. I started working at the DoubleTree Hotel and was exposed to the hospitality industry and ended up having a fantastic 25-year career in sales and marketing within the hotel and hospitality industry.
Wow, that's a long time, and I'm sure you saw a lot of, especially in Tucson, a lot of growth and changes. And
lots of changes. For many years, I worked with Visit Tucson, which when I started there, it was the Metropolitan Tucson Convention and Visitors Bureau, which was a mouthful, but had a fantastic career and was able to help market our destination. Well, first sell the destination, and then moved into the director of marketing position there when they created their in-house marketing department and team, and I spearheaded that. And we marketed the destination worldwide, which was just a really nice way to share the destination that I love so much with everyone in the world.
And you have your family has a background in Tucson.
I am a second generation Arizona native. I actually grew up in Casa Grande, Arizona. Grew up in the same house that my dad grew up in, and my family is a farming and ranching family. And yes, we have very proud and long roots in Arizona, and there's no place I'd rather be.
Yes. And I met Toby, I think during your time at the the long Visit Tucson, what it used to be. And then from there, I know you've helped other like businesses and organizations with their marketing. And eventually now, the past few years, you've gotten into real estate. How did you decide to get into real estate?
After 25 years in the hospitality side of things, I decided I was ready to make a move from putting, as we call it in that industry, heads in beds. I wanted to make a change, and I've always had an interest in real estate. My husband and I had been doing a little bit of investing in real estate, and I decided to get my license and then, just take it from there, and felt that my background in sales and marketing and all of the people that I've met over the years being here would create a good foundation for me to launch my real estate career.
Yeah, and what I could say about you is, number one, you are so connected, and you're also a people person, and I'm sure that's a big benefit as a realtor. Part of that too with realty, it seems like, is a lot about your own personal brand. And what would be some tips that you would give to others about kind of building your personal brand, and therefore, can lead to more business?
You're exactly right. I mean, referrals in this business are everything. And I think when you think about your brand, when I've helped companies in the past, or even branding a destination or branding an individual, it's really important to think about, who are you? How do you want people, how do you think of yourself? And when you determine, who am I? How do you convey that through your brand? It's, like I shared, that having the background of growing up, living on a farm, and learning early the value of hard work, and learning early the value of cultivating the land, and having all of that experience, I feel I like to convey that through my brand. I mean, my work ethic is extremely important. My integrity that my dad has always taught us, from the moment we were, could remember, all of those things I've tried to convey in my brand. And when another person or a company is thinking about their brand, it's, what are your core values and how do you want people to think about you?
That's right. And then how are some of the ways that you've tried to convey that with your own brand, like the integrity, the honesty, and some of those other values?
I mean, I convey that through my marketing pieces, some of the stories that I try to tell, and then just really ultimately it's your actions and how you execute things.
And are testimonials, or I guess testimonials, important in your industry?
Oh, I mean, they're like gold. They're super important, because in real estate, people want to know who they're working with and know that they are like-minded or have similar values. And so getting a referral and getting that testimonial in real estate is super, super important.
In your marketing mix, what have you found to be worth putting the time into? Like, is there anything with your marketing that you feel like is more worthwhile?
It's interesting, because I think that's the $24,000 question
Yeah.
for everybody and anything that we're doing. And, again, with some of the consulting that I had done previously and now, I think ultimately, I mean, of course, it's super important to know your audience and to know what sorts of mediums are that they want to connect with. But at the end of the day, it's really a matter of, what are you going to manage? If you're going to only manage a couple social media platforms, then those are the ones that you should stick with and do well, rather than trying to do many and not doing them well at all.
That's a really good point. I feel like many people, including myself, we can get overwhelmed with all the options. Even, for example, content marketing, like starting a blog. Well, are you going to keep it up, or are you just going to do like one post or two posts? So it is a commitment, but I think you're right. Realizing where maybe your audience is the most, and then focusing there is a good decision.
Right.
So obviously you probably normally do a lot of networking, and we'll talk about kind of how normally that is, and then we'll talk about how things are at this moment. But how typically do you try to network and get out and possibly meet new prospects?
Well, when you said we've known each other for a long time, I was thinking back exactly where I met you, and it was when we both were serving on the American Advertising Federation board.
Yes.
And that's where I first met you, and was immediately, had a fascination with you because of all of your talents, and that has grown into, thankfully, a very nice friendship.
Yes.
But I have served on boards in the past. I served on Big Brothers Big Sisters of Tucson for about 5 years. Now, realizing again, I try to really connect and be involved in things that I think promote my brand and the things that I really believe in. I am currently part of a group called Spotlight, which is a group that actually, it's a networking group, and they focus and promote and businesses that support seniors.
Oh.
Early on, I wanted to get it's called SRES, Senior Real Estate Specialist Certification. And I wanted to do that because, again, I think it comes back to experiences that we have throughout our life. And growing up, I've always had wonderful older people in our lives. My great grandmother lived to be 101,
Wow.
and she was amazing. But we've always had older people, and so I really love old people. I love their wisdom. I love their experiences, and I enjoy being able to help them. So I researched and found the Spotlight group, which typically meets once a month. And we have the opportunity to promote our businesses, promote who we are, what we're doing, and then network with other individuals. And it's created a really nice opportunity for me to be able to have resources to help some of my clients. Perhaps their parents are elderly and they're looking for different options for that next chapter in their lives. And so the networking opportunities, whatever that may be for any individual, I think that it's important to find things that promote and support what your personal interests are, because for me personally, I have way more enthusiasm doing it when it's something that I really believe in.
Yes.
And then I'm also volunteering. I've always volunteered, and I think that that's something that I really love doing for our community. I volunteer for an organization called Tucson CSA, which is Community Supported Agriculture. I love that. I think that it supports my farming roots, and because I'm a big believer in supporting local farming and good organic food. And so I volunteer once a week, and we're still the CSA because it is considered an essential business because it's providing food to our members. We're still volunteering. We've put a lot of things in place for safety, but those opportunities allow you to interact with people through a connection that you have and something that you enjoy. And it's a great way to network, and it's a great, nice way to remind people of what you do.
Very good. And I wanted to go back to the one you're talking about, is a Spotlight that focuses on seniors. I think that you brought up a good point in there about you're passionate about it, you're helping seniors, and then through that network you're building, now when a senior comes to you and you're helping with their real estate, but they need something else, you know these people to point them to. And that's like a win-win when you can be that resource for those people that you care about. And then I think another thing I like you mentioned is just like being passionate about, if you are doing these volunteering things, like being on a board, we've been on boards together and all this, being passionate about it really helps, because you are generally volunteering and it's on your own time, and there's a lot of reward, but it's best to make sure that it's something you really care about.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so
there are so many ways that people can get involved and do things. And when I started my real estate career, it's interesting. I know people want to be helpful, but I received a lot of advice and a lot of feedback on things that I should get involved in. And I think we only have so much time. And so it's so important to choose your time wisely and make sure that it's a personal, like I said, I mean, of course I want to network to help continue to grow my business, but at the same time, I want it to be self-satisfying. And I feel that in doing that, then it really is a win from every corner.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And so now we're in a little bit of a different time. How are you still kind of being in touch with people while most of us are still, currently at home right now?
It is interesting. I mean, real estate is considered an essential business. So while we have seen things throughout the residential real estate market slow and certainly change, I mean, I've been doing some virtual walkthroughs for clients, meeting clients via FaceTime. I mean, Zoom is amazing. Everybody I know, my mom, my brother, it's unbelievable how many people are Zooming, and Zoom has become a regular word in most people's households.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a nice way to stay connected because you can actually see someone rather than just talking on the phone. And
yeah.
So I have had when it's just if it's a single client or a couple, we're able to FaceTime, and I can do the virtual walkthroughs for clients, which is really great.
That's cool.
I'm also just reaching out. I certainly will say that I do have time on my hands to be able to reach out to people. I've been calling people. It's nice to connect. It's nice to ask people, how are you? What are you doing? What's going on in your life? And just reconnecting.
Yeah, that's really good, especially right now.
Yes.
To be doing all that.
Right.
I'm looking at some of my notes here. Who you brought up also how you liked senior population and you look up to some of them. Did you have any mentors that helped you along your career in different ways?
Well, like I said earlier that I touched on, I mean, we were surrounded growing up by just truly amazing people in our lives. We were very fortunate. But as I would say, if I had to choose a career mentor, when I started at the DoubleTree Hotel, 25 plus years ago, and got my first step into sales, there was a woman at the DoubleTree then. Her name was Jan Underwood, who was the director of sales. And I was so fortunate that she took me under her wing, and I had the most amazing training. She would go with me to networking groups in Phoenix and help me as a young professional learn how to network and learn how to follow up with people and learn and it really is, when it comes down to it, it was like I had this personal person that almost like that I had hired, but she was my networking angel. She helped me create just a great foundation that has truly served me well throughout my career.
That's so great. And it's not, those are the things you don't always learn in school. No. I've noticed, it's like you graduate and then you're just like maybe working, and then all of a sudden you have to go to certain networking things and you're like, what do I do here? So that's great that you had someone by your side kind of giving you pointers and tips and helping. And I
think there's a benefit to having some age on your side for me, because I learned through that experience that because you nailed it, when you're learning things in school, like when I got my real estate license, what we learned in school was great, but it was really the street smart side of things that I had to, when you become an agent, that you have to find ways to learn. And so because I had experience, I quickly realized that I wanted to reach out or align myself with a couple individuals that were very experienced agents, and they let me, from the very beginning, let me go with them on a home inspection so I could see how they were doing things. And rather than trying to just figure it out on my own, I mean, there are a lot of people that have a lot of really great experience, and they were wonderful in allowing me to join them and sharing how they look at things and why they look at things a certain way. And then I was able to adapt it to my own style. But I feel like because I was willing to do that, it really helped me learn quicker on ways to best serve my clients.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that can be scary for people at first to ask someone like, but I think it's worth it. And even if someone says, I'm too busy, I mean, no big deal. But you kind of expedited probably your learning because these people are willing, to bring you along and all that. So I guess the lesson there is don't be afraid to ask.
Exactly. I think most people, I mean, that have been in a particular career for a while, it's refreshing to them to have someone be interested and want to know, how did you build your career? What are the things that I should be looking for? You know, tricks of the trade, as we say, that can take sometimes a long time to learn. But if you're willing and able to roll up your sleeves and ask questions and spend time with people, I mean, it's tremendous in what it can do, and so valuable in how it can really help you along the way through your journey.
Well, it sounds like you love, what you're doing. And what's been a success story or one of your favorite kind of things that's come out of this career in realty right now?
Well, I would say that first and foremost, I am most thankful for the referrals that I get from the people, my friends and family, and professional colleagues that I've met over the years. That's been just, I mean, so amazing that I'm getting that, and I'm so grateful for it. But it's also, when I decided to get into real estate, I knew that I would be helping people, but I didn't realize the magnitude of it. And regardless of the price point, because I have worked in a really vast range of price points, from $80,000 to $1.5 million. But I would say probably the most rewarding time that I've had is a couple that I met from a referral, and they had recently moved here from California for his job, and they shared with me when I met them, both of them had immigrated to the US and are US citizens, and they have 3 kids. And when I met them, they shared that they knew there was it was never be an opportunity for them to buy a home in California. It wasn't even on their radar because they just couldn't do it. And so when they moved here and started working, one of his colleagues said to him, "Are you guys going to buy a home?" And they realized that opportunity was there for them. And so like I said, it was a referral. And so when I met them, we looked at many homes, and when we found a home for them and they actually purchased their home, he said to me, and it still just makes my heart so happy. He said that I was an angel sent to them and their family to be able to help them find a home that they could, love and enjoy. And he said never in their wildest dream did they ever believe they'd be able to own a home. That was so rewarding to me. And I mean, they needed, they had never been through this experience. So we spent a lot of time going through. I wanted them to be aware of all the things that they were going through. And it was really rewarding.
Oh, that sounds so awesome. And to be able to actually be in a place like Tucson where people can own more homes. I didn't even think about that versus like Los Angeles or or whatever. You're like, it's like opening doors to people's future,
Right.
really, which is cool.
Yeah.
What's something challenging also about being in realty?
Being a realtor is, like with any individual that owns their own business or is self-employed, you wear many hats, many. And I know you're certainly aware of that.
Yeah.
And I carry a broom around in my car because I sweep, for my listings. When anytime I go over, I'm sweeping the patios or sweeping the decks, or washing windows, making sure the windows look clean, and I've pulled weeds in homes. And so I feel like all of the hats that I wear, from sweeping patios to the sales side of things to the marketing side of things and running your business, there's also a very emotional side of being in this business, because it is one of the biggest financial transactions that an individual will go through. So I also feel that I have to be there for my clients emotionally as we're going through all of these different things. And I take that very seriously because it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. And so that's the thing, that I have to look at each step along the way and know that each piece of it is super important, and not lose sight of any of those parts of what I do, because all of them are equally important.
Yeah. And also in your line of work, it's not like a done in a few days sort of thing. It's such a process. Like,
Exactly.
it was steps along the way. And I think that's really cool how you brought up the education piece. So, to these people that moved from California, hadn't bought a home, there's just a lot of information, education. If you've never been through the process, like, what are you going through, and what are some potential things that could go wrong or not? And I guess for any type of small business, educating your clients along the way is one of the things that probably makes you stand out, maybe versus some of, not competitors, but some other people, is helping people out. So now we talked a little bit about it, but we talked about kind of what you're doing at this moment and reaching out to people. What are some future plans then for your business?
What I really love about this business is I feel that I can do it for a long time, and I plan to. I'm here now. I'm in my 4th year of being a realtor.
Cool.
I mean, it's amazing how fast that's gone by.
I was gonna say, time has flown by.
Yes, it sure has. And I'm here now for my clients, and I want to be here for them, years to come. And it'll be fun for me. I just had, every opportunity is so unique and wonderful in its own way. Last year, I helped one of my son's best friends from high school. He and his wife were married, and I helped them buy their first home.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's, and then I think, okay, there's going to be a point in time where they are having a family, and their family will grow. And then, that's what I want, is to, so yes, I have my specialty in the senior real estate as a senior real estate specialist, but I work with, people at all different points in their life. Mm-hmm. And I want to continue to grow that. And I hope that someday I can help this couple, when they're ready to be in a bigger home, because they're going to have a family. Yeah. I mean, what a wonderful thing for me to be able to go through that and, just be part of their life through all those different chapters in their life. And that's my goal, is to be here for people as they have different chapters in their life. Maybe it's people that, okay, now they're at a point where all their kids are gone and they want to downsize. And so it's a matter of being here for them to be part of all those different times in their life. And that's something that I see. I mean, people have changes in their life. You know, we all do throughout our life, and things change. And that's how I want to position myself, is to be here and experience those things with you over the years. And let's kind of grow old together and experience those things together.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And also with for you, do you focus on like a specific region of Tucson, or do you help people looking in in different areas, or what's generally where you help them?
My specialty really is Central Tucson and the foothills.
Okay.
But I do also have experience in Marana. I just helped a couple that's retiring here, moving from Indiana. They just bought a home in Marana.
Okay.
A really cool concept called Next Gen that actually has a suite attached or within the home for an elderly parent.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
so
Next Gen? That's the name of the
It's the floor plan for this particular builder, but other builders have a similar model. They just call it different things. And it's something that we're seeing that, you know, a lot of people are having at a point in their life where they're needing to have a parent move in with them, or, you know, they just have whatever the dynamic is in their family, they're needing that. And so I've actually helped a few families with that, that are looking for that particular type of floor plan. But so that was in Marana. I certainly have had some great experiences in Oro Valley, and then also in Vail. So it's also been fun for me to really learn more about these communities, so I can help people that are really maybe looking for it. Maybe it's the schools that are really important to them, or, you know, on this way on the other end of that range it's the couple that's retiring and moving a parent in with them. So it's just, you know, people have unique experiences, and they have unique things that they're looking for at this certain time in their life that they need to, you know, be able to find what's going to work for them. And that's what I really like. I like being able to help people find the right fit for them, but I also really love being able to help someone that is moving here, whether it's for a new, you know, a career position, or perhaps they're retiring here, and really helping them get to know the destination. And I feel my background, having been in the hospitality industry for all that time and selling our destination, is really serving me well, because I can talk about the mountain ranges, and I can talk about, you know, the desert and our flora and our fauna and all of the things that someone new to our area, they have no idea, well, you know, all of the things that are here and all of the things that are available to them. And I love sharing that with people because I'm super passionate about Tucson.
Yes, and you can tell that that you're passionate about Tucson. And if someone was thinking about like either buying or selling, like, do you recommend them like calling a realtor right away, or is there any homework they should do before they reach out? Like, what do you prefer normally?
I think that it's important, I would say right away, to contact me, because we can talk about, you know, what it is that you're looking for, and depending on if they're planning to finance, or, you know, maybe they're paying cash, those are things we need to talk about, and I can help get them in the right direction. And if they're planning to finance, then they would need to talk to a lender. And some people think that, you know, if they're moving here, well, I already have a lender that I've been working with in Indiana. And yes, you can work with that lender, but they don't know, you know, the ins and outs of what our guidelines and regulations are in Arizona. And I've had a few glitches for people that have worked with out-of-state lenders that have either held up a closing date, or so I say that it's really important to reach out first to me, and we can talk about and put a good game plan together. And that way it's just helpful. You know, I want to help them and get them pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, it sounds like a win-win, like a plan or a strategy moving
Absolutely.
forward. And
I mean,
especially, yeah.
even if it's a year from now, I mean, at least we have kind of a plan. You're right, a strategy, which sometimes people don't think about that when they're buying or selling, but
Yeah.
it's also good to just kind of get updates on the market, see what's happening in your neighborhood, especially if you're selling, you can understand what's going on. And I think it's a good way to, the more knowledge you have, the better informed you are, then the better decisions you can make.
Yeah, and I know you, and I know that there's really no dumb questions. I think sometimes people can feel overwhelmed because it can seem like a lot of things to know or learn. But that's a good point, is that, reaching out to a professional and asking questions is great, and you won't be made fun of. You'll be probably rewarded that they're happy that you're thinking of these things already. So
Exactly.
Well, we are about to finish up here, and I appreciate your time. But I wanted to also ask you how listeners could connect with you.
Thank you.
Sure.
They certainly can call me. My phone number is 520-310-0122. Also check out my website at tobyparksrealestate.com.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for meeting with me today and being on our new podcast. And I know I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Julie. I
You're welcome.
appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, you too.
Thank you for listening today. This was a fun conversation with Toby Parks. The key lessons that stand out include, number 1, the power of mentorship. When Toby was new to hospitality, the director of sales took her under her wing and helped Toby learn how to network and follow up. Almost 30 years later, she feels this was her networking angel who helped create the foundation that had served her well throughout her career. When she started in real estate 4 years ago, she was willing to reach out to mentors with realty experience. From her past experiences, she knew they could really help her learn the industry quicker and how to best serve her clients. Number 2, branding. Toby's personal brand is about hard work, her Arizona roots, integrity, and her community mindset. I know personally that when she says she's going to do something, she does it, and to a high caliber. She states, "A brand is what your core values are, and how do you want people to think about you?" She recommends to connect with organizations that promote your brand and the things you really believe in, which leads me to our third lesson, networking. In the past, Toby and I met through a board we served on. Years later, I reached out to her when I needed a realtor. I trusted her character, knowledge, and work ethic to help sell my home. One of the best ways to network is by being active in a local organization. Toby recommends choosing networking opportunities that promote and support what your personal interests are. Today, she is involved with the Spotlight Network Group that helps seniors and volunteers weekly at the Tucson CSA, which relates back to supporting her farming roots. What local groups can you help that relate to your passions? We appreciate you listening to the Old Pueblo New Economy podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please check out all of our episodes and series at www.oldpuebloneweconomy.com. While you're there, please make sure to sign up for our newsletter and receive upcoming episodes as they air. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for next week's episode.